The click of her heels wasn't just noise anymore. It was a countdown. Not fast, not slow, but precise, like each step carried intent. When she appeared at my door, red lipstick, polished nails, a lease clutched in one hand. It was already done. Adjusted to current rates, she said with a shrug, as if $5, 900 a month was a number I could swallow while living on caffeine and anxiety. My son was still in ICU. Machines did what his body couldn't. I hadn't seen sleep in days. She knew that timing wasn't an accident. It hadn't always been this way. There was a time when she was the only person I trusted. We grew up in the same storm. No father, and a mother who barely existed except as a ghost in her own home. We survived together, slept on a single mattress, whispered futures to each other. She used to say we'd build something real one day, something no one could take away from us. I believed her. I think she did too, once. But something shifted. Slowly. She stopped coming to hospital, stopped asking about my son. Her visits became brief, rehearsed, always in sleek suits and designer heels. She started calling our building a property instead of a home, stopped calling me her brother, started calling me the tenant. Still, I gave her room to be human, told myself she was under pressure. Maybe she was grieving in a way I didn't understand. Then came the day I asked for a single month's extension, just 30 days, and she smirked, leaned back, crossed her legs, clicked her pen, and waited like I was supposed to beg. That was when the last of my doubt died. 3 days later, I received an email meant for someone else, her lawyer. She called me a squatter with a sob story, said she needed me out before the sympathy dried up. She was flipping the building. That was the moment I stopped surviving and started preparing. I didn't confront her. I signed the new lease with a calm hand, said thank you with a steady voice. Then each night after the ICU, I went not to the apartment she knew about, but to the one 3 floors down, the one she never realized I still had. Inside that apartment was a safe. Inside that safe were the original ownership deeds. She thought I signed them over years ago when my son was diagnosed. When she said it would be easier, she handled the business side, and I focused on care. But I never did. My friend was the attorney. He held the documents. Delayed. Never filed. On paper, I still own half. And I didn't stop there. I followed the money, traced the shell companies she used to buy out tenants, found the kickbacks, the threats, the phony inspections, late-night tenant recordings, emails she forwarded by accident, even a voicemail where she laughed about evicting her idiot brother. I compiled it all, every bit of evidence, into a thick envelope sealed in black. I waited for the board meeting. She walked in like she owned the place, smiling, waving, charming everyone like always, until she saw me, seated quietly at the far end. The room fell silent. I slid the envelope across the table. She opened it. I watched her carefully constructed world unravel, page by page. Forgery, fraud, illegal evictions, coerced signatures. And at the very end, the notarized deed showing my name still listed as co-owner. The board had already been informed. I filed everything hours before she could act. They voted unanimously to strip her of management rights while investigations proceeded. She turned to me, disbelief contorting her face. You can't do this. I met her eyes with the calm she'd once used to belittle mine. It's already done. That afternoon, I returned home, not to a hospital chair or a friend's couch. Home. My son's chart was open on my phone. He was stable, breathing on his own. I stood by the window, the envelope still in my hand, not heavy with guilt, just full of finality. She thought power came from contracts and coldness. She thought love was something to weaponize. But she underestimated what you can build in silence, what you can fight for when your back is to the wall. She tried to erase me from the story we wrote together, so I rewrote the ending. And this time, she didn't get a say.